appointing a special prosecutor is really one of the key things that the Obama administration can do to make sure that the abuses, which are very well cataloged at this point and still coming out, to make sure that those abuses are dealt with, and dealt with in terms of an accountability mechanism that's going to deter future administrations from doing these things again. It will also deter, it will also punish the people that are guilty in terms of what's been done to the people that were abused. And I think finally it will also give a measure of justice to the people that were actually abused by these folks.
Scott Horton, do you think this is actually going to happen? Are we going to have a special prosecutor who might go after some high levels of those officials that ordered these kinds of treatments, of tortures, of what they were calling enhanced interrogation methods?
Well, let's break that down a little bit. Is it going to happen? Will there be a special prosecutor? My sources say yes, that Eric Holder has made the decision to do so. He's commissioned lists. He's looking over names right now, and I was told yesterday that he expects to make that decision roughly the time the OPR report on the Office of Legal Counsel memoranda is released, which could be, I'm told, any day now, but probably right after Congress goes on vacation. But that brings us to the question of who figures as a target here.
Who are they going to go after?
Now, if the investigation is done properly, it's not an investigation of people. It's an investigation of a crime. So it would describe the operative facts of a crime, which would be abuses that occurred to detainees in connection with interrogations. I think principally it's going to be at the hands of CIA interrogators. And the special prosecutor will start with those facts and will have to work back. And this is an unusual case in that we know that these interrogators are going to cite right off the bat advice of counsel as a defense, which they are statutorily entitled to do. There's a special statute Congress enacted giving them this effective shield if they can say they relied in good faith on the advice of counsel. That's going to put the OLC memoranda, potentially also some memos we haven't seen yet from inside the CIA, into contest, and that's going to raise issues about whether the reliance is good faith, whether the memos themselves are correct.
Defense? They were relying on what they were told, correct?
That's right, but I think it's going to take us to the next step, which is the involvement of the memo writers and the involvement of policymakers up down the line. That is how your special prosecutor is going to get from what went on in the interrogation room to decisions that were made in the National Security Council and the Department of Justice. And what we're hearing now is that a number of people around Holder want to put blinders on the special prosecutor, want to tell him, yeah, but you can't look under that rock, please. You know, just look at what's going on in this room, nothing beyond that. If he attempts to do that, I mean, the regulations don't contemplate that sort of charge to a prosecutor. If Eric Holder does that, he will be delegitimizing the entire process.
Might a special prosecutor, or might Eric Holder stand up to his president and say, actually, we really need to do a full investigation?
Well, I think that's the crux of the problem here, and it comes down to politics on one side and the law on the other. The figures in the Obama White House who have pushed aggressively against the appointment of a special prosecutor, we know exactly who they are. It's David Axelrod and Rahm Emanuel, neither of whom holds a law degree or has really much interest in law. They're concerned about the president's political agenda, and they see all of this issue as an irritant. But if we're going to be true to the rule of law here, we've got to deal with these questions. And that's going to put, I think, front and center this question of the OLC memoranda. These memoranda were crafted not to give legal advice. They were written to provide a get-out-of-jail-free card to people who were using these aggressive techniques. In fact, Jack Goldsmith, who was the head of OLC, the critical period here, said that in his book on the torture presidency. He called it a golden shield. So the question is, does that device work? And if it works for the United States, it can be used by Iran and Liberia and Sierra Leone and every other country in the world, and it guts the Torture Convention.